Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to 321 No Kidding from the road. So I decided that I'm having a hard time like sitting still to do the reading and chat with you, and I don't want to chat with you. So the readings are great discussions, and what I realize is they don't necessarily have to line up with the date. That's just kind of the way I've been going with it, and as you know, I feel very strongly that I could do whatever I want. So I'm going to just chat with you as I go down the road, if that's okay, and kind of give you updates and maybe some of my own readings or lessons that I'm learning as I'm traveling. So I'm recording this on Tuesday afternoon, and I'm on my way I'm almost to Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm going to see a friend that I've referred to him many times on the show, because he's just been like a pillar of advice. He's like one of the nicest guys I know. Like, not just nice randomly, but he's got like just this massively big heart. And it's in everything he does. How he raises his family, his girls, and how he supports his wife, and make sure that everybody's happy. He always puts everybody before him. And the first time I met him, and actually what made us friends, was I was at an event that I didn't want to gamble at. It was a work/fun event at this brewery, and they were selling raffle tickets. It was my first year. I ended up being the raffle ticket queen. I went around the room and sold them to everybody. I know, kind of anti whatever, but they were going to be sold anyway, and I just had the loudest mouth and would tell people they had to say yes. So anyway, I did not have enough money for, I think they were selling golf balls. I was $5 short for whatever it was. So it was the first time I met him. He gives me his business card, and I write down on it that I owe him $5. And my company worked with his company. Like I said, this was kind of a work event. And I made sure that I stopped by his office, and I paid him back his $5. And, we just kind of have been friends ever since. And he's one of the people, I've been thinking about this. Of course, I have a lot of thinking time in the car, right? But I was thinking about why I didn't move the needle on my life. Like, he's been telling me a lot of the things that I've really discovered the last year. And even in March, when I talked to him about when Bob died and stuff, like, he had told me years ago, he's like, he's your father. Like, you just have to be nice. He's your father. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but maybe if I started putting effort into the forgiveness or, all the things involved in that situation, maybe I would have been further along, but I didn't. But at any rate, he's always been like a coach in that way. He's helped me with, job interview things, and he's just been awesome. So between yesterday and getting ready to go see him today, I realized, like, the theme of my trip. And it's funny, maybe only the Girl Scouts will know this, but there's this song, and the verses keep sticking in my head. It goes something like this. I think I learned it in Girl Scouts anyway. It's make new friends, but keep the old. I think it says one is silver and the other gold. But yesterday I stopped in Virginia, and I met someone that I'd met online in one of the classes. And we were, in the classes I'm in and the environments I'm in, there's 1,000 different entrepreneurs that all have different backgrounds and skill sets. And ultimately, we all want to help each other. So, like, for example, I have the podcast, so I try to help people with the podcast, or I have the virtual assistant, so I try to help people with that. Or if I've tried, this techie thing and they tried another techie thing. So we ended up chatting, like having our first engagement like a week and a half ago. And her ice cream store happened to be along the way of my journey, so I stopped by to meet her, like we had set up time. And then because I had planned on stopping in Virginia, the light bulbs went off, and my girlfriend Danny who used to be my Zumba instructor on Friday nights up in New York, she had moved to Virginia recently. And Danny, I went to like a Zumba thing down in New York City in March, actually like a week before the world closed down. And we got some like amazing quality time. She is just like one of the most beautiful people I have ever met. And she's very smart on holistic medicine, and her values are unlike anyone that I've ever met before. And by that I mean, I'm going to say that I'm ignorant on things, but not like because I don't want to know. I'm just uneducated. Maybe that's the better word. So I'm uneducated on some of the stuff, and she's very into holistic. And of course, as you know from my journey, I continue to learn more about it, and I want to know more about it. You know, I would love it if I didn't have to take a prescribed medicine on the days my back hurts or, you know, to sleep or whatever. I want to get to all natural, and I'm still trying to sort through that. So we had this great conversation, and she has all this knowledge, but she wasn't sharing it with the world. And it came from a place of maybe fear, you know, because people have their beliefs, and she's not looking for confrontation. She's just trying to do good work, and that's how she treats her family, and she just got this amazing set of values. So we had some really good heart-to-heart conversation on this trip to New York. And I actually got to spend a little bit more time with people that she was more friendly with than I knew. So she kind of expanded my horizons that way as well. So anyway, I reached out to her and said, hey, what part of Virginia are you in? And she happened to be within a half an hour of the ice cream store. So her and her little boy came over, and this is what's amazing, right? Like, I'm in a car for 10, 12 hours a day right now. And this is one of my, nag you lessons, guys. I could very easily not get any exercise in, right? But we chose to make our visit a walk. We were going to do a hike, but we didn't have enough time and all that stuff. But, we just walked. We did laps around the shopping center and whatever, and we walked and visited. So I feel really good about that. It was a good quality visit. And when I talk to you guys about being present for things and making the effort and nurturing your friendships, like, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, the joy it gave me to spend time with her, and for her to, drive the half an hour to come see me and drive half an hour back, and her son had, soccer and stuff. So I was interrupting her schedule in life, but she cared that much about me to come out. So that was amazing. And right around the time she had to go, this new lady, Mary, who I, never met in person, my classmate, shows up. And I will tell you, there's something about being around like-minded people. Now, I've always said to you to maybe not associate with the negative people if you can avoid it, right? Like, it's very draining to be around people who are super negative. Well, this lady was like-minded as far as like business and personality, and it was every topic. It wasn't even school related, just our experience, our history, our business things, even some of our strengths were just really aligned. And I could have stayed there forever, probably talking to her. It was like we couldn't even finish one topic, we're on to the next, and it was just one of those things. So after seeing one of my older friends, Danny, I've known now for a few years, and then now my new friend, that's where I got that idea of make new friends and keep the old. And then someone else in our community, in my online circle, and guys, I'll tell you, if you're trying to overcome gambling, which I'm guessing you are because you're here, there's this whole new world. And I would imagine that everybody listening has a phone, right? You have some vehicle to listen to the show. So you have some vehicle to network and meet new people. And I'm not even talking just Gamblers Anonymous rooms. There's them, but there's also, like, I want you to recover every day and focus on your recovery and dedicate time to it. However, I want you to live your life. And you can live your life by finding like-minded people in things you enjoy doing and expand your horizons. Like this holistic medicine thing with Danny. I learned a little bit more about it because I'm not gambling and my brain's not racing thinking about going to the casino, because I will tell you, if I was still gambling, that trip wouldn't have been about learning about Danny or, carpooling or having a day together. It would have been, how do I get to the Yonkers casino? Because, well, I'm going to New York City. I'm somewhat close. Let me, that's how my brain would have been programmed. So I'm suggesting that, and I say this especially because I believe that boredom and like not being able to see the hope or appreciate the fact that we can do things in life. I don't expect you to love Zumba or volleyball or, trying to ride my bike. Whatever my things are, I don't expect you to like them. But I think that you probably have your own likes. Maybe you don't even know what they are. It depends on how long your gambling career is. It depends on your situation, all those things. And I'm not even saying money things. I'm saying find groups and things maybe that you want to try. Like one of the things I keep talking about, and I gotta get my butt in gear on, is geocaching. I'm really curious about geocaching and I want to do that. So that's one example. So go onto a room. If it is a bicycle club, is there a group in your neighborhood that goes on rides together? Or my friend Jerry in Kansas City, who I'm going to see on this trip, or at least I better see him on this trip, he's in a hiking group. And when we talk on the phone and catch up, I can hear him like glowing through the phone. Now, mind you, he's one of the people I met at the bar. Not that he's like, not that all these friends of mine from the bar are like all raging alcoholics, but he would be at, like, we were usually at the bar more for this, the social part. We're all friends. And now he has this whole new circle of friends, and I could just hear how hiking lights him up and the people he meets. And there's a young guy that he met that he, told me all about. They have a lot of common, and, we're all capable of doing this. I'm just throwing you some examples. When I get to Kansas City, there's another friend of mine, like, we're going to go golfing on Monday, and he's like, well, what are you doing Friday? Do you want to come to water volleyball? Abso-freaking-lutely. Like, I packed my bathing suit to go to water volleyball. I never played that before my last trip to Kansas City that he's like, hey, let's go to volleyball. So I guess my two themes are today, and I guess I didn't go as deep into nurturing the relationships as much as I did on being open-minded to the relationships. So maybe we talk about this another day too. The other point, aside from, being open-minded, finding new activities, I am going to say this about friendships, because I was thinking, like I said, I think that that's kind of like the theme of the tour, aside from the work part of, getting out of corporate mode and put into, really tried and true 3-2-1 and Workify mode. It's appreciating these people in my life and staying connected. And I had a girlfriend, and I'm still connected to her, although I don't talk to her as much as I like. Her name is Linda, and I met her in an exercise class, 10 years ago. And we were in boot camp together, and she's just another badass chick. I love it because she's about my mother's age. I mean, she's probably younger, but her views, like, I have some preconceived notions, like Barbara and my mother my old boss and my mother are the same age, and a lot of their views on things are similar. And Linda just, she worked for Planned Parenthood, and she's just very open-minded, which I think contributed to a really good relationship with her daughter. She's cool. But something she said to me, and it's always stuck with me, she said, Bobby, you collect people. And that sentence just, like I said, it's always stuck with me. And as I do things like what I'm doing now, I see the validity in what she saw. It's other people sometimes see things in us that we don't see in ourselves. And I take that as a compliment. I think my personality, being outgoing, talking to strangers, all that good stuff is part of it. but also taking the time, and it doesn't take a lot of time, right? It could be as simple as, and I've mentioned this before as well, jump on somebody's Facebook page or pick up the phone or send a text. It could be a 2-minute just, hey, I'm thinking about you. And not only is it good for, mental wellness, and people understanding that they're loved and cared about, it's good for us, and it's good to have connections. And I'm going to say, even selfishly, I'm going to go a different aspect of this. Selfishly, if you stay connected, and my friend Chris from GA used to say this all the time. He'd tell new members when they come in, they'd get a phone card, and he would say, text people before you need them. So text them hello. Start forming these relationships. Then when you have an urge or a craving or a bad day or whatever it is, it doesn't feel like an imposition or awkward to reach out to people. And that's kind of the same premise of what I'm talking about here. Stay connected. And then when you do have a bad day, you're not having to face that bad day by yourself. You can reach out. It's not that you love people or care about people any more or less by the amount of communication. Like if that was the case, my friendships that I've had for over 30 years, like Saturday night when I went out with Chad and Jonathan. Now, Jonathan and I don't talk every week or anything, but we're still friends, and I know we'll always be there for each other. He knows I'll always, go to the Renaissance Fair and support him, and I gotta pay him royalties someday when I make money, because positivity is no gamble from him, and I made that commitment now Saturday night out loud to him. But, it's not an everyday, it's not a frequency thing. It's a value thing. Like, I didn't get to spend all day with Danny, but that hour of walking or even that one overnight trip, like, those are very precious moments. We can't have those precious moments, though, if we're not present. If we're not, it's more than just being there physically, guys. We've got to be there mentally. We got to be dialed in and be doing this with purpose. And also, gratitude, right? Like, have gratitude for having these friends in your life, or these experiences, or being alive to even have the experiences, right? Like that we didn't drive into a freaking bridge embankment or jump off a freaking building, or all those things that go through our heads when we're in the darkest places of gambling. So I think I lost my train of thought when I was talking about the other girlfriend. She posted today as Gratitude Day. It was one of her Facebook kind of things. And it was like, yeah, let's be grateful. Be grateful for people. And, we're all in this together. We're all in this world. We're all in this, pandemic. We're all in this change. We're all stuck in 2020. We all have options about it. But let's do it together. So that's what I got for you today. Now that I decided I will talk to you on here, because I've been telling you this whole time that I knew I would miss you, and it's been bugging me. So I didn't get to talk to you guys yesterday, and this is the best I can do at the moment. So this is what I'm going to do. So I love you guys. I'm thinking about you. Please stay well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.